There's a whole festival
was
about
it not just some guy that went out on a really big bender
and
was just like his eyes were just like boom, and he's just like, you know,
maybe.
It's just like, you know. Hi, this is Alice,
and this is Kai.
Welcome to our channel. So in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at America's most unique towns.
Nice.
That is literally all I know about this video. That's the title. The screen's black. I have no idea what to expect.
Let's jump straight into it and find out.
Yeah, there's no point guessing. Let's just jump in.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. But just a black screen, guys.
Today we're going to take a look at some strange towns here in the United States. The cities on this list aren't your cookie cutter cities or towns. These places are special, weird, or quirky. Ooh. Something makes these places stand out, like their history, their architecture, their theme, or even their location. Myself, I like a town that's got a little weirdness to it. Maybe that explains my fascination with Possum Trot, Kentucky. Who knows? But that's what we're looking at today. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look.
Seaside, Florida. Sounds like a nice place.
Number 10, Seaside, Florida. Seaside, Florida is kind of special. Not the name. Every state that touches salt water has a town called Seaside. I know California has one, Oregon has one, but this one's special. Pristine white buildings all lined up like they're in some sort of architectural military camp. Visitors are pedaling around in pastel-colored bikes like some sort of weird Gap commercial from the 1990s. And cute little beachside boutiques. This whole town looks like the set of The Truman Show. Remember the Jim Carrey movie? I'm not even kidding. Looks just like it. And surprise, surprise, this was the filming location of the movie, The Truman Show. When you go to this town, you kind of go, this is what America should look like if all of America had beachfront property. It is literally the American dream, or at least looks like it. If you're there, don't miss out on the all-white chapel church. Yeah, it looks like the top of a wedding cake. Not even kidding. They have a cool post office and rows upon rows of pastel-colored beach houses that look like they've been plucked straight out of a candy shop. This is in the panhandle of Florida, and if you've ever seen, I should say most of their beaches there, it is white sand beaches, and it's usually pretty pleasant. If you're looking for it on a map, it is between Destin and Panama City. It's so cute, it's ridiculous, honestly. For the most part, it still looks like The Truman Show. They don't have any homeless people. They hardly have any measurable crime. This is the type of place where white slacks after November 1st might be the biggest crime you've seen all year. If you want to live here, the average...
Sounds like a place to live though, doesn't it? Basically, no crime, just...
Smaller town population is just over...
It's nothing, is it? Elevation. I wonder why... Elevation, what is that, 29 feet?
Above sea water, I guess.
Is it just 29 feet though? I don't know what a apostrophe actually means. Wow, I just realised that the population includes cats and dogs as well.
Oh, I didn't even
No, I didn't. It's like it's right there.
Yeah, it is actually.
Like, that's crazy. There's not
so
many
how
people
many
here,
humans?
Yeah, exactly.
Home value is $986,000, almost $1 million, and I think it'd be worth every penny.
Average.
Maybe not then. Jerome, Arizona.
Number 9, Jerome, Arizona. Jerome holds a special place in my heart because a lady one time corrected me when I called it Jerome, Arizona. We were talking about how it is considered the most vertical town in the United States, which it is. She told me it's actually called Geronimo, Arizona. I said, no, I think it's Jerome, and she looks at her husband and goes, we were just there. It's called Geronimo. He leans over and goes, it's Jerome. That woman turned 9 shades of red in about 10 seconds. If you're planning a trip to Jerome, don't forget to wear comfortable shoes because this place is called the most vertical town in the United States for a reason. It is. How vertical is it? Let's just say it was built on the side of a cliff, and their sidewalks aren't as much sidewalks as they are stairs. Back in the day, this was an old copper mining town, and it was dubbed the wickedest town in the West. Nowadays, Jerome's just a tourist hotspot with a quirky twist. Have you ever wanted to eat a hamburger and an old bordello? You could do that here. Want to go visit a haunted hotel? You can. The Connor Hotel. Jerome is a goldmine of vintage shops, wine, and beer tasting rooms. If you want to get out of town and go do something exciting, feel a little adventurous, head over.
When you look at this though, so just looking at like this picture here, I wouldn't say that was in America. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't look like it's in America. Now, I don't know why that is. I guess maybe I've seen European towns that look a bit more
that's
like this.
why, it's unique and different, because it doesn't just necessarily fit in.
Over to Jerome State Historic Park. There you could tour the Douglas Mansion, which is a massive adobe house built in 1916 by a giant businessman that was in the copper game. If you want to buy a home in Jerome, it's hot, so I mean very hot. Keep that in mind. But the average home value here is $509,000.
Damn, it's expensive, isn't it? Gibsonton.
Number 8, Gibsonton, Florida. Ever wonder where
Back in
circus
Florida.
performers go to retire, where they stay in the off season? Well, that is Gibsonton, Florida. Or Gibtown as the locals call it. This town earned a reputation as the retirement community for carnival folk and circus folk for that matter. That was back in the old days. I've watched a couple videos and there's hardly anything left of it. You can still find little, murals and different things, but it's not like it was in its heyday. Now, if you go here, there still are some old carnival folk and people associated with that business, but you're not gonna go to the grocery store and meet a fire breather or lobster boy or the bearded lady. Matter of fact, where you're gonna find most of them is gonna be the local cemetery. Between 55 and 61 artists are buried here after a tragic Hammond Circus train wreck in 1918. Now, there's other ones that weren't associated with the train wreck, but I think that's kind of strange. I just watched a video that was done about 5 months ago by Southern Life where they went to the town and they found different things that were associated with the old history of the town, but it really wasn't what they were expecting. The circus has left town pretty much. Apparently all the circus folks now live in Sarasota. The good news is this is a town that's coming back up. I mean, it's mostly trailer parks where all the circus and carnival folk used to live. I mean, they've been living in trailers their whole life. Why stop in retirement, right? But they're building new homes, and if you want to buy a home here, the average home value is $350,000.
A bit more affordable. A bit more. Beaufort, North Carolina.
Number 7, Beaufort, North Carolina. All right, folks, let's talk about Beaufort. And it is Beaufort, not Beaufort. This coastal gem has more charm and personality than a sailor's first tattoo. Picture this, you've got comfortable little shops overflowing with fancy treasures, restaurants that take the dock to dish seriously by serving the freshest local seafood, and historic homes that are as gorgeous as the sun sets over the water. You stroll along the docks and find a bunch of yachts parked there like they're in some kind of showroom. Live music always seems to be playing. And of course, like any seaside town, Main Street is a treasure trove of quirky t-shirt shops and ice cream parlors that make their own waffle cones. That type of thing. But that's not the cool part, and that's not what makes Beaufort weird. There's more to Beaufort than meets the eye. Beneath its picture-perfect surface lies a swashbuckling history that's over 300 years old. Yep, Blackbeard himself, the legendary pirate, left his mark here when his ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, took an unplanned pit stop at the bottom of the sea just off coast. And guess what? The place is crawling with diveable shipwrecks, earning it the nickname A Wreck Diver's Dream. Yeah, this whole area was pretty big with the pirates back about 300 years ago. Blackbeard obviously being the most famous. They have pirate boat tours. There's rumors Blackbeard buried a bunch of gold here. 300 years later, and sound-penetrating radar, nobody's been able to find it, but they're still looking. If you're looking for a house here, it's not that expensive, and this is a nice little town. The average home in Beaufort goes for about $402,000.
Not that expensive.
Not
That's
bad.
still quite pricey, isn't it? I guess maybe that's the thing. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Number 6, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. A place so packed with fun, it should come with a warning label, where their town motto should be, we still don't know how many go-kart tracks are too many go-kart tracks. Honestly, they've got like 10 go-kart tracks on one street. Different companies, different places.
That's cool.
This isn't just
That's
one
cool.
company that has a bunch of different tracks. It's like one guy was successful with a go-kart track on a piece of property, so another guy
And then they all
decided
did
to
it.
copy him. And then like 10 other people did. Pigeon Forge is most famously known
everywhere.
for Dollywood, which is Dolly Parton Amusement Park. But honestly, this town didn't just stop with Dollywood. They decided to turn the whole town into an amusement park. Mostly, I'm not kidding, it is go-karts. But they have like different rides and miniature golf, a Ferris wheel, and an outdoor
That is
gravity
cool, that
bar.
place,
Yes,
actually.
it's a thing. If you don't know what that is this hill where they put you in a big ball and push you down the hill,
zorbing,
basically. And
is
you
it?
roll down for
Is
like
it
a minute or two, get to the bottom, throw up, have a good time. This is one of the strangest towns I've ever seen, and I haven't been there in 20-something years. It's just still getting weirder. More go-kart tracks. If you want to buy a home in Pigeon Forge, the average home value is $469,000. They got a lot of trailer parks there, though. You can get in cheap.
I like that one. Just seems like
that's cool,
loads of
isn't it?
fun. It's like a mini version of Vegas.
Yeah, it looks quite cool, that one. I like that.
Yeah.
My favourite one so far.
Yeah,
I
same.
think, by far.
Yeah.
Leavenworth. Leavenworth.
Number 5, Leavenworth, Washington. Welcome to Leavenworth, Washington State's very own slice of Bavaria. Here you can chow
Ooh,
down
like
on some hearty
that.
bratwurst
Bavarian.
and wash it down with a cold German
Yeah.
beer.
Nice.
But that's not all they do here. Do you like nutcrackers? And I'm not talking about the type you had in 3rd grade on the
I
playground.
like that.
I'm talking
This one
about
looks
those little,
good.
you know, things that crack nuts, like walnuts. If that's your thing, Leavenworth has the Nutcracker Museum. Most of them from Germany and most of them very old. So old they probably saw the
look at
invention
that.
of the pretzel or
That's
maybe
lovely,
mustard
isn't it?
gas. I mean, they're from Germany, so it could be either. Leavenworth is a really cool town. Been there a few times. They have a great Oktoberfest. As you can imagine, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
Bavarian-style town. All the buildings, it
Nice.
looks like you're in part of Germany or maybe Austria. It's just a really cool little town. But their Oktoberfest is pretty good. A lot of people go to it from the Pacific Northwest. A few years ago, during the pandemic, they'd shut it down for the pandemic, and then some of the locals didn't.
It's in the mountains as well. Look at it. Lovely.
Yeah. I think this is the best looking one.
It's very, well, especially when it snows.
Yeah.
And the buildings have got that Bavarian
Mountains
influence.
behind. It just feels like you're in a mountain resort
It's
somewhere.
awesome, isn't it? It's
somewhere
it's
different.
lovely. I love this
Yeah.
one.
This is good.
want it to come back. So it's like you have this whole town based around the whole German Bavarian theme, and you're going to shut down the most German Bavarian thing that they do. Oktoberfest. Who shuts that down? So they tried to get rid of it, but I think they almost had a frickin' rebellion. All those hotels, all those businesses that count on all those visitors. Now, what makes this one weird is it's in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and it looks like a German town. There's a few of these around the country. I just picked this one. I've always thought it was strange. I've been there a few times. But Leavenworth is a beautiful town. It's nice. It's small. It's up there in the mountains. They have a nice little Christmas setup, you know, during the holidays. It's really, really a neat place to be. It's
bet
just
it's
kind of weird.
expensive.
If you want to move here,
Yeah.
the average home value is about $685,000.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Salem.
Oh.
This sounds
For
haunted.
don't think I wanna live
Salem,
here.
Massachusetts. Salem has one of the wildest chapters in American history, the Salem witch trials. Colonial Massachusetts, February 1692 to May 1693, a time when your nosy neighbors could point a finger and suddenly you're accused of being a witch. Over 200 unlucky souls had Gladys Kravitz as a neighbor and got drug into this mess. 30 people were found guilty and 19, yes 19, got the ultimate neck stretch, courtesy the hangman's rope. 14 women and 5 men for those keeping score. But wait, there's more. One guy, Giles Corey, decided he wasn't playing along. He wasn't into their game. He wasn't dancing for the man. He refused to enter a plea. Authorities, in their infinite wisdom, thought, hey, let's torture him. See if we get a confession then. Spoiler alert, he didn't make it. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, at least 5 more people kicked the bucket while cooling their heels in jail. So yeah, it was a real-life horror show. Makes you kind of grateful that one of our biggest gripes about our neighbors, you think he's stealing your Wi-Fi signal. If you want to buy a house in this spooky little town, the average home value is $589,000.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Country road.
Number 3, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. For those of you that said that Salem witch trial stuff was kind of weak, what else you got for us, Briggs? I give you Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This is for lovers of paranormal activity. This little West Virginia town on the Ohio River has some quirky personality. There was a Mothman panic in Point Pleasant in 1966, based on sightings of a red-eyed, winged creature. Today, the town is home to the Mothman
Never heard of him?
Museum, as well as the annual Mothman Festival. There was a movie some years back with Richard.
There's a whole festival
Was
about
it not
it.
just some guy that went out on a really big bender?
Oh, and he's
was
got
just like his eyes
bloodshot.
were just like boom, and he's just like, you know,
Maybe.
it's just like,
Then
you know,
someone got being
all his whole
spooked.
arms are like, you know, his clothing's just all torn. It looks like wings, and he's, who knows?
Someone got spooky by him, and that was it. A legend was born.
That's it. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, let's click it. My bad.
Gear about the Mothman. Anyway, the museum showcases memorabilia from the sightings and the 1964 Silver Bridge disaster. This bridge disaster and collapse and all the people who died in it supposedly had something to do with the Mothman's appearance. When they have the annual Mothman Festival, people from around the world come here and they're really into this. Like, you know, those guys that are into Bigfoot, people think they're going to come here and actually get a sighting of the Mothman. The good news about this strange little town, the average home value here is only $144,000.
Whoa. That's a massive difference, isn't it?
Whittier, Alaska. Is it Whittier?
Number 2, Whittier, Alaska.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Alaskan town where everyone lives under one roof? That's right. Almost all of Whittier, Alaska's 200 residents call the same building home. Instead of log cabins, tiny homes, and normal homes, they live in a 14-story tower called the Baggage Tower. Some people call it Wilderness Tower. The thing is, this building was built for the Army back during the Cold War, and when the Army left, the railroads took over the land, and someone turned the Baggage Tower into condos. If they want to live in Whittier, they're going to live in this tower, because since the railroad owns all the property, if you build a house, it's not your property, it's their property. Other than coming by sea, there's only one way in and out of this town, and it's a tunnel. The tunnel closes at night. It opens at 5 a.m. and closes at 5:15 p.m. There's no road through the mountains. There's no road around the mountains. You either come by sea or you go through the tunnel. Everything is in this tower. The school, the church, the post office, the cozy corner grocery store, even a notary. Everything is just get in the elevator, go up or down. You're going to find what you need. It was voted a few years ago as the strangest town in Alaska. If you want to live here, you can. They've actually got 2 condos for sale right now. A 2-bedroom goes for $205,000 and a 1-bedroom goes for $175,000. Now that's...
Sorry, so what happens in this town? Why would everyone want to live here?
I don't know.
Is it for work, maybe?
I wonder if it's maybe a bit... Because obviously, the only thing you've got really is a tunnel on a dock, right? So I wonder if it's a fishing village or something like that.
Yeah, he didn't say though, but it must be something related to.
There's got to be something there.
Yeah.
That's obviously everyone's doing. It's kind of weird though, isn't it? It gives me a bit of like, we've been watching. Well, we haven't been watching. We watched it a while ago, but we watched the Snowpiercer on Netflix, and it's just one
massive train,
like set in like post-apocalyptic times, I guess, isn't it? Is it? Well, not whatever.
I think so.
And the world's dead basically. It's all frozen over, and everyone. And everything is on there, and it's like this is just everyone lives in one building.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird though, isn't it? I don't know if I'd like that.
Yeah, I guess if your business is in this town and you need to live
make
somewhere,
do, but like surely you could just have a shop or something that you could go out and get some fresh air, have a shop there, go to the corner shop or the grocery store.
Obviously you're allowed to go outside, but
no, I know, but it just feels like everything inside. It's weird, isn't it? So you go outside and there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
strange.
What's for sale right now? They have some bigger condos that go for more. And they say that the average home value here is $319,000. So that tells me they probably have some that come up for sale occasionally that are in the 350 range.
Tangier Island?
And number 1, Tangier Island, Virginia. Tangier Island, a place so low and flat, you might miss it if you blink your eyes while cruising the Chesapeake Bay. Yes, Tangier is in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. This tiny speck of land is home to a bunch of hardy watermen and women whose ancestors have been hanging out here since the colonial times. A lot of them are direct descendants from people that lived there before the American Revolution. The cool thing is, this island is packed with jaw-dropping tales. We're talking about Native Americans popping by to hunt and fish, and even some enslaved African Americans making a daring escape to find freedom on this very island. Tangier's got stories that will blow your mind. Right now it's sinking. A lot of it has to do with erosion. It's basically a sand island, and time is catching up with it. At certain parts of the day, when the tide comes in, Main Street is about 3 inches deep in water. Most of the houses are now up on stilts, and if you moved there and wanted to purchase a home, maybe pass it on down to your kids or your grandkids, I don't think your grandkids are going to see it. This island is on borrowed time. They say they could build a seawall and save the island, but there's really only 500 people living on it. Last estimate was a seawall would cost right around $30 million. But it is a very interesting town and island. If you wanted to live here, the average home value is about $220,000.
Doesn't sound like a very good investment, does it?
Yeah, I guess not. When it fell, when
now you buy your house sinking. And then
a bit like Venice, I guess they're saying that about Venice, that is sinking, and we don't know how many more generations are going to enjoy it.
At least we got to go and see it though.
Yes,
we've done that. We've done the gondola. We've done the vet. We've conquered Venice. We
have conquered Venice. That was also where Kai proposed to me in Venice.
Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
Very that was interesting. Nice. I liked some of them. The look of them.
My favorite was, I think it was Leavenworth, which
The Bavarian looking one.
I think hopefully that's the right one, but the Bavarian one looked good, didn't it? With the German influence. It just looked nice. It was very
it just felt like full of life to me as well.
It was bright, lots going on.
Yeah.
And then in the snow it looked awesome.
Mountains behind there.
Oh yes, everything about it was just nice, isn't it? A good location. And
I also quite enjoyed the one before, the one with all the go-karting tracks.
That looked like there was a lot
all
going
the
on as well.
entertainment, and that looked like good fun for a couple of days busy or something.
I'd be right at home there.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I don't know if I would like living there though.
I think the least one for me
probably gets a bit much.
Maybe, but I suppose it depends how much you expose yourself to it. Because when you live somewhere, you don't see it as much. Whereas when you visit
but
somewhere,
with it being a small town and with all of that going on, loads of tourists, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose maybe it's not the ideal place to live. It's more of a visiting location.
A bit like Vegas. I wouldn't want to live in Vegas.
I suppose if you have a business there, maybe it's different, isn't it? Because you're thriving off of that business.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, maybe not the ideal.
Yeah.
Secluded is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, just far away enough that it feels residential, but still close enough to amenities and entertainment and stuff.
Yeah. For me, I don't think I'd live in that. Is it Whittier, Alaska?
Yeah, no, not me neither.
No, not
I love Alaska. Maybe we can look more into it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's lots to see.
But yeah, I wouldn't live in.
No, just everything under one roof just seems a bit odd to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
And yeah, that was a good selection. I wonder if there's more of these around US, because USA is so massive. I do feel like there would be others.
There can't be just 10, can there?
No, absolutely.
But maybe these were the top 10. Who knows?
Well, he would definitely his top 10. Yeah. So if there are more towns like this that let us know, or another video we can watch.
Yeah, something a little bit different.
But we do hope you enjoyed it.
And see you in the next video, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys, and bye for now. Bye.